Nigeria is a country drawn by lines. Lines negotiated in London. Lines signed in colonial offices. Lines that split ethnic groups. Lines that merge strangers. But beneath those lines, beneath state boundaries, beneath political slogans, there are roots, deep roots. Long before Nigeria became Nigeria in 1914, long before states were created in 1967, before capitals were declared, the Igbo civilization already existed, stateless, segmented, republican, decentralized, and yet deeply organized. Villages connected by trade, markets connected by kingship, clans connected by ancestry. This is the story of 7 Nigerian state capitals, whose identity, memory, architecture, and economic spirit are deeply intertwined with Igbo civilization. Some are in the southeast, some lie in west of the Niger, some sit by the Atlantic coast, but all carry Igbo fingerprints. This is not politics. This is not agitation. This is history. This is culture. This is documentation. And this is legacy. Capital of Enugu State, Enugu. Enugu was not born traditional, it was born industrial. In 1909, coal was discovered in Udi Hills. By 1915, Enugu had become a mining settlement. But what began as a British extraction colony soon became something far greater. It became the administrative heart of the eastern region. When the British divided Nigeria into north, west, and east, Enugu became the eastern capital. From here, civil servants were trained, regional budgets were signed, infrastructure was planned, and here emerged one of the most influential political thinkers in Africa's history, Nnamdi Azikiwe. Under the Eastern Region government, education expanded rapidly. The University of Nigeria was founded in nearby Nsukka. Broadcasting and journalism flourished. Enugu became intellectual headquarters. Then came 1967. When Biafra was declared, Enugu became the first capital of the breakaway republic. The city endured air raids, military advances, displacement, yet it survived. Today, Independence Layout stands as an elite residential pride. Coal Camp remains historical memory. The hill still embraces the city like ancient guardians. Enugu is not loud, it is dignified. It does not shout its legacy. It carries it. Capital of Anambra State, Awka. Before political capital, there were spiritual capitals. Near Awka lies the ancient Nnewi civilization, one of the oldest known Igbo kingdoms. Unlike centralized monarchies of West Africa, Igbo society evolved differently. Power was diffused, authority was spiritual, consensus governed communities. Awka became famous for blacksmithing. Its craftsmen forged iron tools, traded across Igboland. Metal shaped agriculture. Metal shaped warfare. Metal shaped ritual objects. Iron was power. Awka controlled iron. Colonial records described Awka's smiths as traveling across villages to provide metal work services. Even today, you will find shrines, ancient marketplaces, ritual masquerades tied to centuries-old cosmology. Yet, modern Awka rises. Flyovers, government complexes, new estates, traditional and modern governance coexist. Awka reminds us that civilization existed before colonization. Capital of Imo State, Owerri. Owerri sits almost at the geographical center of Igboland. It became administrative capital in 1976 when Imo State was created. But Owerri's rise was not purely political. It became cultural. It became hospitality-driven. During oil boom years, diaspora Igbos returned. Hotels expanded. Restaurants multiplied. Owerri became known as Nigeria's entertainment capital. But beneath nightlife lies a deeper history. Clan systems, age grades, traditional festivals. Owerri shows modern Igbo adaptation, entrepreneurial, expressive, optimistic. It reflects a resilience after war. It reflects a people who rebuild repeatedly. Owerri is rhythm. Owerri is movement. Owerri is youth. Centrally positioned in Igboland, Owerri became a hospitality hub, a diaspora returnee city, a cultural capital of celebration. But beneath the nightlife lies a deep, clear structure and ancestral heritage. Owerri represents the modern Igbo spirit, vibrant, expressive, and unstoppable. Capital of Abia State, Umuahia. Umuahia rarely dominates headlines, but history remembers it. When Enugu fell during the Civil War, Umuahia became the new capital of Biafra. Here, decisions were made under pressure. Here, survival strategies were drafted, but Umuahia's intellectual legacy predates war. Government College Umuahia educated Chinua Achebe, Christopher Okibo, and many literary giants. Achebe would go on to write Things Fall Apart, reshaping Africa's literature globally. Umuahia whispers, but it shapes narrative. Umuahia whispers, but its whispers shaped history. During the Nigerian Civil War, Umuahia briefly served as Biafra's capital after Enugu's fall. It is also linked to literary excellence, home of Government College Umuahia, attended by Chinua Achebe. In Umuahia, intellect and resilience walk side by side. Capital of Delta State, Asaba. The River Niger does not erase identity, it reconnects it. Asaba belongs to Anioma Igbo, culturally and linguistically aligned with Igboland. In 1967, Asaba experienced a massacre that remains one of the darkest events of Nigerian Civil War. Memory lingers, yet modern Asaba rises, real estate expansion, film industry presence, strategic bridge infrastructure. Asaba is proof culture can survive tragedy. Across the River Niger, the Igbo story continues. Asaba belongs culturally to Anioma Igbo. In 1967, it witnessed one of the darkest massacres of the Civil War. Yet today, it rises as the fastest growing capital. It expands with luxury estates. It connects east and west through the Niger Bridge. Asaba stands as memory and rebirth. Capital of Ebonyi State, Abakaliki. Created in 1996, Ebonyi State was once considered politically marginal, but Abakaliki transformed rapidly. Road networks, government complexes, agricultural investment. Known as the rice capital of Southeast, Abakaliki reflects agrarian strength. Development here is steady, deliberate, and structured. Often underestimated, Abakaliki's transformation in motion. Once rural in perception, today it boasts of expanding road infrastructure, agricultural dominance, massive public construction projects. It proves that development is not noise, it is consistency. Capital of River State, Port Harcourt. Though in the Niger Delta, Port Harcourt is a city with deep Igbo roots. This city was once part of the old eastern region. Traders, engineers, and oil workers built strong economic presence there. The city hosts markets, industries, and oil servicing firms. Port Harcourt became a convergence point in Nigeria's history. Though not in the southeast, Port Harcourt carries undeniable Igbo footprint and deep roots. Historically part of the eastern region, the city became a magnet for entrepreneurs, markets, industries, oil services. Commerce thrived here. Port Harcourt is where industry met ambition. States may change, governments may rotate, boundaries may redraw, but culture endures. From Enugu's hills to Awka's iron, from Owerri's rhythm to Asaba's river, 7 capitals, 1 deep heritage. This is documentation. This is memory. This is Ten10 Media. States may be created, boundaries may shift, politics may change, but culture endures. From Enugu to Asaba, from Awka to Port Harcourt, the Igbo imprint remains visible, not just in language, not just in markets, but in the architecture of resilience. 7 capitals, 1 heritage, deep roots. If you enjoyed this deep dive into identity, history, and beauty, subscribe to Ten10 Media, because here we don't just tell stories, we document legacies.